Another week, another trading cycles video. It's week 13, 2024. Today is 24th of March, Sunday. My name is Urmas and I'm here to give you an overview of what has happened last week and what we can expect on the markets this coming week. Before we do that, obviously you are free to push that like button if you like the content that I provide, and also please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and please turn on those notifications as well. And I do need to remind you that this content is provided for educational purposes only, and you need to do your own due diligence before making any financial decisions, and always trade the price, not the prediction. So, looking into a week that has passed now, we had quite many obviously events going on and so much information coming through. So let's try to dig through that. Now, NVIDIA was one of the companies who came up with another AI development. They did introduce their own new AI chip, which is obviously helping AI to develop even further. So that's obviously good news. Now, Apple and Alphabet also were part of the speculation there in the beginning of the week, and Alphabet's or Google stock then jumped quite heavily, as there are rumors that Apple might start using Google's AI on the Siri capabilities, or iPhone or wherever in their technologies. So basically, as Apple is falling behind, that's why this is obviously might be the good obviously turnaround point there, because they can still catch up then and still try to develop their own AI in-house until they obviously finalize it, and they can ride on Google's capabilities there, yeah, as they have done in the past as well. Now, we did get some housing numbers as well. So what else was there? Energy stocks have been now taking off as well. So Exxon and Chevron have seen quite good gains there. After the crude price has jumped, and the story there behind it was that obviously Ukraine has been targeting Russia's oil factories there, and basically that's gonna affect the whole market still. And yeah, so we have seen now 6.5% rise in XLE ETF, yeah, which is the energy stocks ETF. What else we had? We had Fed's rate decision. Sorry, Fed, not the Fed. Yeah. So basically, we'll come to that in a moment. And we did see mortgage applications and also business inflation expectation numbers coming out, and weekly jobless claims did decrease a bit. While the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index presented a mixed signal. Yeah. So that's about it. Now let's look into the Fed decision there. Now they did decide to keep the rates as they were. So no cuts so far, but there are now some other speculations coming in. Basically, the Atlanta's Fed chief Bostic has now said that he anticipates only one rate cut this year, and Vanguard has now indicated that they have a possibility in sight that there's going to be no rate cuts at all this year. Okay, we shall see then how it's going to play out, but yeah, the overall so to say expectation is still that there will be 3 rate cuts, and one of the first ones will be in June. Now, Bank of Japan did hike rates for the first time in the last 17 years, and it didn't rise much, obviously from 0 to 0.1 or minus 0.1 to 0, whatever it is. So it is a bit dynamic there, I believe. Yeah. But Yeah, it is significant. They haven't changed the rates for quite some time. The last rate hike was, I believe, somewhere in 2007. Right. So we shall see how it's going to play out then in their economy. We have seen slight increase in the inflation as well in Japan. So obviously they will try to tame that, I believe, as well. Now, who did surprise was Swiss central bank. They did cut their rates in surprise this week, and it was cut by 0.25 points. So from 1.75 to 1.5 then. Now, why is it important? Obviously, it does indicate that Europe is going to lead this rate cut season. Probably we will see European or ECB following, and also Bank of England could quite possibly follow. So that is therefore quite important to keep in mind. So they're not going to wait possibly until US Fed is gonna start cutting rates. Now here's that movement, and so the rates did go up quite steadily from 2022, mid 2022, and now there's been one cut. All right. And now central banks have also hoard, so to say, gold at fastest pace in modern times. So basically, since 2009, 2010, these numbers have gone up, and in recent years especially heavily. And this trend continues. Money has been flowing out a bit from Bitcoin ETF in recent days. So obviously that's not really significant, but still something to bear in mind, that if money is going to flow out of ETFs, then who's going to buy that Bitcoin? So it might be like a snowball effect at some point, but at the moment I wouldn't think that it's going to be such of an issue. So it's just a small correction there, but just something to think about. And now, biggest corporate Bitcoin holders are obviously, one of the biggest ones is MicroStrategy, who has more than 9 billion on their balance. And also there are some other ones like Galaxy, Marathon, and Tesla, Hut 8, and Coinbase, for example. Undoubtedly MicroStrategy is one of the biggest ones. They have now 174,530 Bitcoins on their balance there. Now, what else have we seen? Yield curve is still inverted, and it has been the longest inversion now in history, as far as we know. And the same length was last in late 70s. So I think we are making another record here this time around, and it's obviously quite possible we should have had some recession already coming in, but it is being held up by Fed, obviously, and other factors in place. So that's probably why we do see that long of an inversion there. So if it hasn't been Fed bailing out those banks and so on, we should have had some sort of bigger correction already in place. But I'm sure that it is still coming. We can't hold it off forever. So with that, bearing in mind that the money inflow has been also one of the fastest to US corporate bond markets. We have seen same amount of money flowing in 2019, and now it is taking place again. Okay. Who else is quite positive? Small speculators are quite positive. Their positions are looking like all-ins now. What else? Then US households' financial asset allocations are now strongly, obviously, tilted to equity markets as well. we have seen that sort of strong upside movement last in 2000, yeah, when we had the .com bubble obviously bursting. Now, is that going to indicate that we have another bubble here forming and possibly bursting? Possibly, yeah. Yeah, that is how it looks like at the moment, at least. And also the debt crisis is looming there as well. US household credit card balance is now in its highest since I don't know when. Okay, as we see here for the past 15, almost 20 years, we haven't seen that high debt rate at all. Yeah. Now, also short sellers are betting against US commercial real estate again, and we have talked about it before, and that's how it looks like. Yes, so the commercial real estate is gonna have some issues. We have seen quite many buildings to be sold for $1 or $0 because they simply want to get rid of them. And they are not some just cheap ones. They are very high quality, obviously, real estate. So that is indicating to us that there will be some issues coming, and it is indicated that if the fail rate is going to be at 6 or above, we will see 100 to 200 banks failing in US. Because of that reason, yeah. So, and it might be even more, depending how much failure we will get. Okay, so that's obviously important to bear in mind. I think in the next half of this year, we will start seeing those factors to play out as well, yeah. Okay. Now, in other news, what we have seen this week, then another Boeing incident took place, yeah. So another panel gone missing during the flight on one of the Boeing's 737-800s. What else? Logitech CFO departs, and possibly in mid-May. SpaceX has secured quite good investment from intelligence agency, just under 1.8 billion. Contract there, and Apple is still in troubles, yeah. So now Europe is suing them because of their failure to comply with those EU regulations for Digital Markets Act, yeah, where they need to open up their ecosystem to other developers and companies as well. Unilever has decided to spin off and lay off, so they are spinning off their ice cream business and also cutting 7,500 jobs. Nvidia is now coming out with Blackwell B200 chip, as discussed, so that's AI oriented, obviously. AstraZeneca has acquired Fusion Pharmaceuticals for $2 billion. It is the next-gen cancer treatment that they have now in their portfolio because of that, yeah. What else? Meta has proposed to reduce their monthly subscription fees for Facebook and Instagram in Europe from €9.99 to €5.99, yeah. And what else is there? Intel is obviously gaining quite a lot of money from government, 8.5 billion, I believe, to build a semiconductor plant in Arizona, Ohio, and New Mexico, or Oregon. I think it's undecided where exactly, but yeah, obviously somewhere there. So this is the largest investment now under the CHIPS Act. Mustafa Suleiman has joined now Google. No, not Google, Microsoft, sorry. Yeah, he comes from Google, yeah. He was one of the DeepMind's leaders there, and obviously, now he's gonna lead AI division in Microsoft, yeah. Chipotle has introduced that they are planning to split their stock 50-1, and it might take place as soon as in June 26th, but it is going to be obviously subject to a shareholder vote, which will take place on the 6th of June. Yeah. Samsung stock also jumped because Nvidia has introduced or announced that they are planning to use their high bandwidth memory chips now. What else is there? Micron did jump quite a bit as well, 15.7% pre-market, I believe, after the earnings report, and they did surprise quite heavily. So that was obviously a good news for the market, and the price did go up quite fast and quite a lot. Neuralink trial video came out this week as well. Now that's quite good and interesting development. So the first chip that has been planted now to human brain is allowing that patient to control a computer with his mind, and he was able to play chess, for example, on a laptop without using his nothing else but his mind. All right. What else did we see? Nike did slow down in China, and therefore the results were not as expected, and obviously the stock did fall quite a bit. Tesla is also trimming their production in China due to sluggish demand. And Lululemon did lose quite a bit. Their earnings were quite all right, but the future does not look so bright. So the stock did drop more than 10% after hours there as well. And Airbus is one of the gainers there because of Boeing's troubles. They have now secured 65 jet order from Asia. And Reddit did come out this week with their IPO, and the stock did very well in the first week. So on the first trading day, it did jump 48%. It did close at 50.44 per share, and obviously the IPO price was $34. Yeah, so that's quite good signal. And Cathy Wood decided to jump on board as well on the first trading day. Yeah, so we'll see if it's just a speculation or is she or does she have some other plans there? Well, only time will tell. Now, biggest winners and losers are here as well. So Micron, as we discussed, was one of the biggest winners. ANET as well, FTX. And CEG as well. Biggest losers were Lulu, FTS, Abbott, AMD as well, for example. Yeah, all right. And that's not nothing to see here. Nothing has changed so far. Let's proceed to the prediction. So our cyclical prediction, how it went. So it was quite accurate, to be honest. Now most of them did point to the right direction. Only one that was inverted was the red one. Yeah, so I had to turn it around. But other than that, it did perform very well. And when I turned that red one around and did average those 3 cycles, then it did play out quite well during the week. Yeah, so it's quite accurate now. Now, if you look at the actual price movement of the week on hourly chart here, so we can see that our indicators did point to quite many buying opportunities as well. So before Fed announcement, we did see quite many opportunities there. Yeah, and we did find the top of the market on late Thursday. 50-day moving average has been in mid area here, yeah. So at the moment it's sitting at 56%, and 200-day moving average is now on its records highs for the past year. So at 78.92% above 200-day moving average. So that's quite high level, and possibly we will see some sort of correction soon after as well. VIX is very stable, yeah, nothing has happened, no fear at all. And now technically S&P 500 did see another buying opportunity there, And there is another support forming as well. So we did then see new record by Thursday. And the weekly chart is still showing quite a lot of obviously stretch there to the higher side. So again, it is pointing to the possible correction quite soon. When it's going to happen, it's hard to say, but we are obviously keeping an eye every week here. Technically, Russell 200 did see another touch of that resistance, and it did bounce back from that resistance on Friday. So is it gonna now touch this one again, or is it gonna start declining? Well, obviously it's interesting to see. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on this one as well. Sector performance-wise, the strongest ones were communication, in industrials and technology, and the weakest one was real estate. And if you look at the heat map, then we can see that AMD was one of the biggest losers here, and Apple didn't perform that well either because of those legal issues there. And other than that, market was fairly positive during the week. Yeah? Insiders did show now first time for quite a bit of buying interest there as well. So selling pressure has been declining, and we did see some dip or rise in buying interest there as well, which is quite interesting. Yeah, so obviously we'll be keeping an eye on this one as well. Yeah. Now, one of the biggest amounts of activities are listed here, so there's a comparison between week 11 and week 12. Nothing major has happened here, just to be honest. Yeah. Fear and greed index is still in greed zone, and it hasn't changed much. Yeah, so it's staying on these high levels still. And crypto fear and greed has declined a bit because the obviously market has been declining. So it's now on greed zone. And seasonally, we are now expecting another good positive period in front of us here. And statistically, yes, for the past 12 years, we have seen 11 years of raising prices from next week on until the end of April almost. Yeah, so that has been quite strong growth period for S&P 500. Astrologically, we will see obviously eclipses now coming. So on Monday there's going to be a lunar eclipse, and in 2 weeks' time then a solar eclipse as well on the 8th of April. Usually these periods are very volatile, and we will see obviously prices going up and down, and quite unexpectedly as well. So you might need to be careful on financial markets during those times. And on the 1st or 2nd, we will see Mercury turning retrograde as well. So that's usually indicating another turning point as well on the markets. So important times ahead. Yeah, and our black box model is pointing to possible correction this week, so I need to be careful in that sense as well. What to expect next week? It's going to be a shorter week, so we will have Good Friday there, and obviously there will be some macro numbers coming out, especially PCE index is one of the important ones for inflation-wise, which will indicate also possible Fed actions there in the future. Housing stats are coming out as well, and some earnings still coming. So GameStop, for example, is announcing earnings, one of the meme stocks from a couple of years ago. And then also Walgreens Boots is announcing first time now after they were left out of Dow Jones, I believe. Yeah, so we'll see how they have been doing. Yeah, all right. Now, new cyclical pattern is here as well for the week ahead, and we might see some turning points here on Monday, well, Tuesday, another one, and Thursday as well. So Friday will be closed. Yeah, so that black line is now the average of those 3 cycles. So that's been added here as well. And Willis Tower Watson, how this one has been doing. Now, obviously, it's been performing very well. It's now been moving in that little channel here, and the indicators are pointing to possible correction as well quite soon. We'll see if it's going to happen or is it going to turn to the upside. But at the moment, yes, it is quite not so clear where it's going to head. Cyclically, obviously, we should see another leg up here, yeah. So we shouldn't see any corrections until late April or May. But we'll see how it's going to play out then. All right, so let's have a look at charts as well. So let's see, firstly, S&P and turning points. So we had a turning point on Friday, 22nd. Next one coming up on Thursday, 28th of March now, yeah. So we'll see what way does it go. Then gold. We did see a bit of decline there for the past week or two, and then we obviously had this quite interesting trend forming here. Now it did break out on Wednesday from that trend line. It was quite a high spike there, and then it corrected back to that trend line. Now is it going to hold, and it's going to go up from here? The next turning point is going to be on 26th on Tuesday, yeah. We shall wait and see. And Bitcoin is moving now up from that turning point that we had yesterday on Saturday, 23rd. Yeah? We'll see if it's going to go now trending to the upside again. Yeah? And this correction is over. Well, it's hard to say, but so far so good. The indicators are still all green. All right. Perfect. And if you look at the biggest stocks here as well that we have been following, so looking at Apple, it is still very negative, yeah, because all of that is going on with the company. So it's all in red still. Amazon has been doing very well. It's still heading up, and all the indicators are green as well. There is a bit of divergence now forming, but we'll see if it's going to hold or is it going to break out of that. So that's quite important, obviously, sign there as well. Google did jump quite a bit higher, yeah, because of those rumors that we discussed. And now there is another support resistance forming, yeah, at 153. So we shall wait and see if it's going to bounce back from there. Then yes, that's going to be a double top here, but if it's going to break through, then yeah, that's going to be obviously a good sign. Now, what else? Meta. Meta is doing fairly good, although there is divergence in play and some resistance as well. So I need to wait and see where it's going to head now. Microsoft has been very strong and is heading still to the higher side. So at the moment, nothing is stopping it. Yeah, so all good. Netflix is also very positive. At the moment it's all green and nothing is or has changed there. Yeah? It's still heading higher, and that divergence has been broken as well, so that's a good sign. So there might be more power to the upside. Netflix, we did look at Nvidia. Nvidia has been now struggling a bit, but after this announcement they have had quite strong week again. There is resistance. Obviously, there, if it's going to break through that, then the stock will go higher. If not, then it might correct a bit. All right. What else we got? Tesla. Tesla is very weak still, so it did recover a bit after this divergence there, but and slight support. But it did fall back again. So we do expect this market to start turning at some point in April. So we'll be keeping a strong eye on this one. But at the moment, it's not looking strong at all. So it's still a falling knife, so to say. And PayPal. PayPal did go higher quite a bit, but on Friday it did correct again. So there is that resistance ahead, and obviously, as far as it holds, then yeah, the signs are not good, although we are in positive territory now short term. Okay, so that's about it for the week. Yeah, let's wrap it all up. And also one good news, the global happiness indexes here, and we can see that Finland is one of the happiest countries in the world, but and other Nordic countries are not doing so bad either. And also US and Canada are quite positive countries, and Australia and New Zealand, yeah. But the worst one is obviously Afghanistan, so I wouldn't recommend to live there. All right, well, that's about it. So have a great week, and obviously, if you haven't done so already, then please subscribe to the channel and click the like button as well, and share button, or whatever button you can click there. So do that, and we'll be seeing next week. All right, bye-bye.